When we're stuck in this phase in which we're feeling powerful because we're kind of stacked over that rear hip, we're feeling like we're putting energy into the ground, you can see, right? You can see that you have a lot more to potentially go down. Now, it's not that I'm going to sit here and say, hey, sinking more is better versus sinking less. The loading phase of the drive leg is what buys us time. It does a number of different things, but if you think in terms of how it buys us time, this will make sense. If we get into our load phase and we don't maintain that loading phase posture, if you look at drive leg mechanics, you want to absorb, produce, store energy into the drive leg. So you're absorbing energy as you descend from leg lift, you're producing energy as, like we said right here in this move here, that's your load phase, and then you're storing energy as you enter the drive phase. That's why you see a lot of commonality of hard throwers who have that, what do you want to call it, corkscrew, that I just call it a loading phase, holding on to their load phase rather than having that load phase crack and collapse early. Now, this is what's cool about this. When we don't truly optimize that loading phase of the drive leg, we're killing time. Body, brain, being very smart and adaptable, what it's going to do is it's going to pull and it's going to showcase this, right? So if that's linear, you're going to see this lead foot here, boom, misdirection. Talked about the early glove side pull. When that loading phase is compromised and we don't have the ability to store energy throughout our drive phase, and we don't have that showcase of like that maintaining of the posture of that drive leg, then the body's going to find a way to create more time for your hand to flip up. The brain is so smart, it knows that if it lands with the front foot and the hand is down below the elbow and the shoulder, it's going to be a threat. It's going to be harmful to your being. So it's going to do whatever it takes to not let that happen. And that's when you see the misdirection. That's where you see the flying open. So it's like a very unauthentic way of approaching, your drive phase. That's when the pull happens. So if your lead foot, obviously it's the thing that's in front of your body. So that's going to determine a lot of your directional energy. Now, if it pulls like this as a way to unauthentically clear your hips, because obviously you said it in the PDF, your hips aren't cleared, your pelvis isn't cleared. So that's going to compensate your lead leg block. Now, as you come down, it's going to try to clear. Now you're not able to take the energy that you're creating in your delivery and express that linear, because the lead foot is going to pull, which is going to then influence the glove side shoulder to fly out and pull. It's going to influence the head to pull. And it's all action, reaction. Got some lefties here that throw some cheddar bobs. Jose Alvarado, drive leg here, coming down, descending from peak leg lift. This is where we want to absorb, produce, store. Absorb this energy, descending from peak leg lift, produce that into the ground. We need to store it, and that's going to buy us time. And you can see that here on this open side video, is he's storing in that drive leg. He's maintaining that posture until it becomes time to then initiate the transfer. And that's when the hips start to rotate. And at that time in which the hips rotate, the elbow is going to retract. That's what's going to create our segmentation, right? Segmentation, we want the lower half to initiate rotation at the center point of the drive phase, or roughly right around there. And at that point, the elbow is going to retract. Everyone always talks about short arm, long arm, and all this stuff. The arm action itself is influenced by the lower body mechanics. So if somebody has a super restricted stride because of their drive leg, the hand path needs to become shorter to feel some sort of stretch. Vice versa, if you have a super efficient loading, like Ryan Helsley would be a good example. If you have a super efficient loading phase of the drive leg and you're going to buy more time because the loading is going to turn into an amplified movement capacity of your stride length, so the hand needs to actually kill time. Right? It needs to hang out. So the hand path is naturally going to get longer throughout that phase. And you can see that with Alvarado here too. Right? So as soon as he sinks, see how the degree of knee flexion is much greater. That's another piece to look towards. And then boom, anchoring down. Look at the stretch, bro. Like, it's authentic though. That's the difference because of the way he loads. Same thing with Chapman. Descending, boom, absorb that, express it. Now we got to store it. Okay, elbow's going to retract. Hips better rotate. Hips are rotating. Got 2 frames, maybe 3 frames right there before anchor point. Now we're clear. Segment, clear, anchor, release that energy. You can't release much energy right now because of the compensation of your drive leg is influencing a breakdown in your segmentation mechanics, right? We talked about them moving together. So you're not having a whole lot of energy to release. You're not having a whole lot of energy to capture when it comes to, your arm action. So the arm is going to be like, oh, well, frick, we got to just create a little bit of independent arm speed, which arm speed is not supposed to be created from the arm alone.
Hey guys, thanks for watching that video. Robby Rowe here. If you are interested in learning more about pitch mechanics, I put together an ebook. I'll provide a link right here for you to click to check it out. Everything I know about pitch mechanics, I put it down on an electronic book. #2023.